cautious. We have to be vigilant. We have to be, practicing the new normal. But, Jascribe, I say a big but here. We are a nation like most of the Caribbean. Our ancestors came down here under different circumstances. All right. There's a lot of talk now, about Africa, India, in America. There's a lot of talk, discussions about, equality, slavery, emancipation. But in Trinidad and Tobago, I want to be very cautious. Our country here, I did mention that we are very multi-ethnic. All right. We have Indo-Trinidadians. Our ancestors came from India. We have Afro-Trinidadians. Their ancestors came from Africa. And we have, other segments of the society that came from other parts of the world. Okay, we have the Muslim segment within the Indian community. So if you look at it, let us say about 35% Indian. We have about 45%, Afro-Trinidadian. Okay, we end up with 90% there, and you have another 10% mix, of, other ethnicities. All right. So what has happened? I make this point because in Trinidad and Tobago, we have a very democratic country. Our rights are still not infringed, but I will talk about the infringement of rights and equality as we continue to deal with the multinationals, all right? Because sometimes the comparison, how they operate, some of them operate like 100 years ago, and, that is something that maybe we'll discuss in other programs, all right? But today I want to let you know in Trinidad and Tobago, we are facing every 5 years, national elections is due, okay? And it's due in September, but social media has it, and the word out there is that because of COVID, all right, elections might be sooner than later, all right. Constitutionally, an election can be called 6 weeks, as less as 6 weeks and as high as 90 days. But we have a budget to present at the end of September. So the politics will play, and the ethnicity problem and the challenge comes around election times, where you have this word tribalism, among the Indo and Afro community. Only for election times, Jasper. Are you understanding me, Jasper? I don't want people to misunderstand our conversation.
No. I'm understanding you, but in this time there can't be no tribalism. What we need right now is unity. To pick a government that's going to represent all peoples, not just a segment of the population, but all peoples.
Right, and you're very correct. Now, in America it's different, but I want to go back. These are facts. I stand corrected, but these are my humble opinion, and on the farmer's voice. It will affect farming, so I want farmers to understand how important their vote is. And as you rightly say, it's not about tribalism, it's about your country, your Caribbean country, Trinidad and Tobago, or whatever country in the world that you're in. It's about your country.
Yeah, it's about the country working for the people, the government working for the people.
Right. So I want to make this point, Jascribe, in Trinidad and Tobago, all right, around election time, there are segregation. So I want to go back to 10 years within the last decades. You had 2 elections, all right? So in 2010, all right, Jascribe?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm listening. We all listening.
Right. In 2010, there was the PNM, which is one of the party, was in governance, and they called a general elections. So they made plans, and they had budgetary plans for like a 5-year period, and they had their manifesto, whatever plans will be for Trinidad and Tobago. In 2010, UNC, the opposition came and won, and they turned around all the plans that the former government had. All right, so let's go to 2015 now. So the UNC was there for 5 years. Okay? In 2015 now, the UNC lost the election and the PNM took over. And in the last 5 years, the PNM was there. So what I'm showing you for 15 years there from 2005, those elections, it showed that we are still tribal because each government wanted to stay in power. So the PNM right now is in governance, right? The PNM right now is in government and they want to stay in power. So we are seeing a situation unfolding where the election will be called soon. All right, so I wanted to clarify a little bit. I don't know if people will understand that sort of politics in Trinidad. It's also playing out in Guyana to an extent, but I don't want to go into anybody's business. You know, I want to stay in Trinidad and Tobago business class. Just
Yes. But over here too, you know, we had the same political tribalism, you know, but the climate has changed now where people realize, you know, everybody needs equality. You know, as you know, you've seen on the news, there's a big Black Lives Matter movement going on in America. You know, so the world is shifting, you know, and hopefully with this election, we'll vote out Trump and we'll be, you know, get somebody that represents all the peoples.
That's right. I take that with a pinch of salt, you know, but in our Caribbean politics, it's slightly different, but it boils down to tribalism. But I would like to close this part of the conversation, but I don't want anyone to misunderstand this conversation that we are having on the Farmer's Voice, you know, but I just want to spend about 2 minutes on a point to close off this segment with respect to the politics and whatnot and agriculture. So here it is, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, he has an election coming up. We just came out of 100 days of COVID restrictions and, you know, that would have an impact on our economy. And we are facing a debt of hovering around close to $20 billion. You know, how are you going to present to your country to vote back you into governance in the next few months? So he elected a post-COVID team, a recovery COVID team to come up with a plan. And he incorporated one gentleman, Mr. Vasan Barak, who was a former Minister of Agriculture and a Minister of Trade, but a very, very astute individual, a very astute professional. But he's aligned to the opposition. That created a lot of hullabaloo. It continues to create a lot of questions, you know, but we, as you rightly say, we need to think about Trinidad and Tobago. The plan is for Trinidad and Tobago, not politics. Just right?
Basically, yeah, this for better Trinidad and Tobago, you know, not politics. And that shows leadership of a country when you can work with the opposition. You know, you have to work with the opposition to find solutions that people in your own party may not even see or recognize. So, you know, kudos to the Prime Minister for that. You know, it takes everybody to come together to form solution.
Right. So in Trinidad and Tobago, social media has been posting up, you know, that they are looking at the timing and are questioning the Prime Minister that maybe he's asking for information and a plan to present to the nation so that his party could get back into power. So what you are seeing is a reflection of 15 years. You know, the question remains that the election will be called, the PNM will do their manifesto, the opposition will do theirs. You know, as to who wins, you know, the whole cycle goes all over again, repeats itself from 2005
Yeah,
over the last 15 years.
But I got a question for you. Which party best represent TPFA?
The TPFA is not aligned to any political party. For the past 20, 30 years, the TPFA had visions for the future of the agricultural sector and the future for food security. And that encompasses a lot of logistical challenge to get that done. Okay, so it incorporates land tenure to encourage agricultural production. It encourages marketing and so many other aspects of. And And every 5 years, we as farmers, we lobby for that for farmers in Trinidad and Tobago. So whichever government is there, we lobby for that government because of the allocation, so that it can be used to achieve the ultimate goal of food security for Trinidad and Tobago.
Okay, but does the TPFA vote as one block?
What's that?
So does the TPFA vote as one block?
Well, we are a group of farmers together, and we lobby, we do a lot of volunteering, and we lobby with whoever in government. Okay, so I urge people to go on social media, go on our page, follow, go on the various political pages, and you will see. There's a video going viral with respect to a candidate for one of the areas down here, Mr. Winston Gypsy Peters for the PNM. And you have Mr. Vasan Marat, who is a UN. But the media and people miss the point, because the candidate now is pushing for the agro-processing and pushing to give leases. And Mr. Vasan Marat, who is the UNC now, he's also pushing for that. But both is pushing to push food security for Trinidad and Tobago. But people reduce themselves to political peacock.
Okay, so then who is the TPFA? Which party? Which person is the TPFA going for? That best represents, like I've been saying, the TPFA's best interest.
No. It's not about interest. At the end of the day, it is your democratic right that when you go in that voting booth, you choose a party of your choice. Now, look at what we did. The TPFA, that area, that southeast area that we did, let us use pineapple production. Most are families most are Indo-Trinidadian families. We're not saying that they are not African families, but 90% of the farmers are Indo-Trinidadian. But the record would show that the UNC has a strong base there, but that is not our concern. Our concern is that we want to acquire, we have challenges in food security, challenges with respect to land security, with respect to marketing, with respect to infrastructure, and which every 5 years, whichever government comes into power, we work with them to ensure that these things happen. But
okay,
over the years, politicians use the farmers. Yeah, every 5 years they use the farmers, and this is the reality. So, Jascribe, I want to thank you very much for this conversation.
But this conversation is good. So, okay, so then now it's time for the farmers to use their politicians. So we're going to go with whoever's best to represent, the TPFA's interests.
Absolutely.
We're tired of getting used. So, if we vote as one block and show them, listen, we're voting as one block, we have such a amount of votes, and this is what we need, then we have some leverage to negotiate, how to carry out our agenda.
All right, so Jascribe, you hit the nail on the head there, because, we spoke of the political parties, PNM and UNC, so we already dealt with Mr. Vassant, who is a UNC member. He made that absolutely clear in his meeting that he came there on behalf of the agro-processing facility and for ingredients, land tenure, etc., to get that processing facility going. So he came to the TPFA. All right, now we have the other candidate, which is the UNC, Miss Michelle Benjamin, a young lady in the area. Now, 2 years ago, that touchstone issue on the agro-processing and other challenges, water for the area. All right. When members of the government came, let us use water as an example for Cleveland. The member of Parliament, Dr. Lovell Francis, came to offer information on the water project 12 months ago. You know what the UNC councillor did?
What?
The UNC councillor went and kept a faction meeting.
Oh, wow.
He told the villagers that she come to her meeting, that she would get water for you. Now we are in 1 year later. The councillor who is in opposition